We get into the first topic of conversation, ladies and gentlemen, and it dives into everybody's favorite defensive coordinator, that being one Pete Golding. Alabama defensive coordinator Pete Golding. And just like we mentioned on a previous show, a prior show, on how, offensively in year two at Alabama, when you look at Jim McElwain, who won a national championship in his second year as the offensive coordinator in 2009. Lane Kiffin won a national championship in his second year as the play caller in 2015. And when you look at Steve Sarkisian, who goes in his second year, what will he do offensively? Can he continue to keep that trend going? It's the same thing with defense. The second year that Kirby Smart was the DC for the Tide in 2009, Alabama national championship. The second year that Jeremy Pruitt called for defense in 2017, national championship. And now Pete Golding enters his second year as the primary DC. He enters his second year under that tag. I know he's been here 3 years, period, but the first year, 2018, he shared play calling duties defensively with one Taj Lapoy. Of course, last year was his first year under the primary DC tag. This is year two for him. And while for most of you out there, the defense was a bit of an embarrassment due to the injuries that happened, the lack of communication, the lack of focus, the lack of effort, the lack of discipline, the lack of tackling, it was a unit that you really were not used to because we have become so used to seeing or accustomed to seeing Alabama being dominant, Alabama being hit you in the mouth, Alabama being roll you over, Alabama being snatch your soul out of your chest and eat it and keep moving. And when the Crimson Tide was not performing in that way or in that manner, it bothered a lot of people. And despite all the confusion, despite all the chaos that happened, Coach Golding was able to manage it the best he could do. Alabama was still able to be in the top 20 for total defense, in the top 20 for scoring defense. It only lost 2 games despite the chaos, and they lost those 2 games by a total of 8 points. And when you look at it, the whole spectrum wasn't all Coach Golding's fault. He came into the 2019 season with the idea of, I'm going to have Dylan Moses, I'm going to have Joshua McMillan, I'm going to have LeBron Ray, I'm going to have DJ Dale, I'm going to have all of my main guys, all of my main primary guys to operate, to run this defense, to keep people in order, to keep people, in check, if you will. And then when you go into the summer and the camp sessions in the fall, and you lose a Joshua McMillan to a knee injury, season-ending knee issue, and when you lose Dylan Moses, the captain, to a knee issue, and when you lose LeBron Ray 3 games into the year with a foot problem, and when you lose DJ Dale down the stretch of the season, it doesn't matter if you have the most experienced defensive coordinator stacked to your deck of cards. When you have injury issues, when you have guys that really don't understand the Bama factor, when you don't have the right personalities in the room in terms of players, any type of defensive coach is going to struggle. It's not just Pete Golding. So Coach Golding had some issues. He had some things that he had to overcome, not all of his fault. But to me, I see 3 reasons why not only will he bounce back this season, but I see 3 reasons why he will lead, he will guide this defense to a college football playoff national championship. So reason number 1 for me in terms of Coach Golding, he's going to have a healthy roster. Healthy roster this year. And just as important or even more important as the healthy roster, he is going to have players that fully understand, that fully know what the Bama factor means. And Coach Saban won't have to do a lot of preaching. Coach Golding won't have to do a lot of preaching. Those players will be able to police the team. When you have a healthy Dylan Moses back, that's huge for Pete Golding. When you have a healthy Joshua McMillan, huge for Pete Golding. When you have a healthy LeBron Ray, a healthy DJ Dale, a healthy Christian Barmore, a healthy Patrick Surtain II, you get it. When you have the starters healthy, the marquee contributors healthy, that's a big feather in the cap of Pete Golding because you're going to have that depth there. But just as important is When you look back at the national championships Alabama has won under Coach Saban, starting this off of 2009, when there was friction, when there was confusion, when there was chaos, when you had players that wanted to buck against the process, the moment Nick Saban wanted to maybe part his mouth and say something, you had guys like Marcel Darius, Rolando McClain, Eric Anders, Brandon Dederick, Lorenzo Washington, Javier Arenas. They said, Coach, shut up. Coach, keep your mouth shut. We got this. We got a problem? We got a problem? Are you bucking against protocol? Are you bucking against quid pro quo? We got an issue? Oh, we don't got no issue? Okay, it's squashed in. Let's go. You had those players of 09 that policed that team. 2011, if there was a problem, if there was an issue, you had guys like Donta Hightower and Courtney Upshaw. We got a problem? We got an issue? You trying to mess up the process? You trying to be a distraction? Do we have a problem, sir? We have a problem? We got no problem? All right, let's roll then. 2015, Bama Nation, you know this. When Alabama had Reggie Ragland, Reuben Foster, A'Shawn Robinson, Jaron Reed, Jonathan Allen, Tim Williams, Ryan Anderson, everything was kept on the up and up. Nick Saban didn't have to say nothing. Coach, be quiet. We got this. Do we have a problem? Do we have a conflict? Do we have an issue? Make your station known at the door, or you can check the door. We're going to handle this right now. I mean, that 2015 team had everything so policed down, they sent Tony Brown home that year. Nick Saban didn't have to say nothing to TB. They sent Tony Brown home. They said, Coach Saban, oh, Tony ain't acting right. Oh, he ain't with the game. Oh, he ain't with the clique. All right, Saban, you got to say nothing. Tony, get your stuff, get out. We will win without you. Get your stuff. Here come the bus. Get on it. Gone. We trying to win. We trying to be focused. And if you ain't riding with the riding, if you ain't in the cut, if you ain't down with the get down, get on out of here. That's what those guys did. 2017, it was the same thing. You remember the documentary, The Rolling with the Tide? Isaiah Buggs did that. So, the last couple of seasons, Alabama has not had those players to check the attitudes at the door. They will have those guys along with having a healthy roster. Number two reason as to why Pete Golding was a national championship, the dynamic duo of coaches David Ballou and Dr. Matt Ray. Scott Cochran will be missed. Scott Cochran was valued. Scott Cochran was a unique personality. But in terms of what these two guys do in strength training, speed training, flexibility, injury prevention, the two best in the game right now. I mean, both of these two turned down NFL jobs. Why? They want the perfect situation, and the perfect situation became Alabama football. These two have already come in here talking about, let's take Alabama, let's make Alabama elite again. Let's make Alabama legendary. Let's make Alabama marquee. And when you got two strangers coming in here talking about, let's make Alabama elite, that is some good talking in the ears right there. So, Dave Ballou, Dr. Ray, making sure no season-ending injuries, everybody's healthy, everybody's good to go. Big feather there in the hat of Coach Golding. And then last but not least, Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong is going to be beneficial to Coach Golding. Why? Just like Golding has something to prove and wanting to show fans that last year was not his fault, Charlie Strong has something to prove. People feel like Coach Strong is washed up. He wasn't a great coach at Texas. He wasn't a great head coach at South Florida. He can't do it no more. This ain't the same Charlie Strong from 2006 to 08. He done, folks. Stick a fork in him. This is Charlie Strong's chance to say, guess what? I still got it. Guess what? I can still structure defenses. Guess what? I can still put things together. Guess what? I'm still the mad strategist, or one of the best mad strategists in the game. And when you have two guys that have a lot to prove, that are bouncing ideas off each other, that are putting their heads together, you will be amazed what they could be able to come up with. So, folks, Pete Golding going to be one of the hardest working men this entire offseason. Why? He's looking to take this team, this defense, and win a national championship with it. We're going to take our first break here on the show, but upon our return, we unpack your phone calls, thoughts, tweaks, text messages, and concerns. And it's coming after this.
Every Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.